So this is part 3 of today's lecture, and it is also the conclusion of today's lecture. Another way to promote diversity in a company is to put emphasis on the business case for diversity. And that means the business case for diversity management refers to the use of diversity for organizational goals. This is the view that diversity, if managed properly, can contribute to the economic success of an organization. From a functionalist view, diversity is merely seen as a resource, as a means by which to optimize performance. This approach is often suggested as being in opposition to the efforts of anti-discrimination movements. But it's probably a good strategy to promote diversity in a company if the idea is that diversity management can improve the economic success of an organization. Pull factors, as opposed to push factors, which are laws and regulations that require diversity measures, are what encourage companies to expand their level of diversity because there are business benefits to it. So there are quite a lot of benefits to a diverse workforce. It can bring a diversity of ideas relating to business opportunities and problem solving. It can increase the customer base by utilizing cultural experiences and knowledge of different languages and greater cultural understanding. And it can also, encourage a willingness to think outside the box and challenge long-held beliefs. And another benefit is a diversity of culture. So that can be very important in any workplace. By having a workforce familiar with a variety of cultures, it can be much easier for even a very small company to appeal to a wider customer base. And with geographically limited companies located in culturally homogeneous areas, achieving cultural diversity may require actively recruiting in other parts of the state or country or continent. And demographics is another benefit. Demographics is often the most commonly thought of dimension of diversity. Demographic diversity does not just include having members of a variety of racial or ethnic groups on staff, but also having a wide range of ages and a good mix of males and females. Demographic diversity can be extremely important in external interactions, since many potential customers or business partners are more comfortable working with people they feel are like them. But what we also need to question is whether there is a sincere attempt to change a culture in a company, or is it just a trend and people are jumping on the bandwagon because that's what they're supposed to do? So organizational theory scholars found that several companies took over diversity management as a label, but never integrated the ideas into their organizational processes. And decoupling means companies may officially state that they value diversity and perform diversity management, yet they haven't really changed their practices. And I'm sure this is something you have seen or have thought about as well with regard to diversity. So the question is it really a sincere attempt at creating an inclusive workplace and making people feel comfortable? Or is it just, good for their public image? And that's what you're going to do for homework, is you're going to have a look at some companies and see what their diversity practices are. So go to the internet and find examples of companies worldwide that are promoting diversity and inclusion in their corporate culture. Usually you can find this on their website, also in their mission statement or something like that. Have a look at how they're doing it. Have a look at whether you think it's effective or not. To what extent do you suspect decoupling of this company? And it would be great if you could share 2 examples in our next class, which we will be meeting online synchronous. That means we will be live online together. And if you have an example of a company that you know because you work there, you can also keep the name of the company anonymous and share your personal experience of that. And here are just some examples. Yeah. So this is the slogan of McDonald's. Our culture. A job with us offers a culture of flexibility, opportunity, equality, and development. Our employees come from all walks of life but share a common approach, positivity. I actually do know somebody who worked at McDonald's, and they worked in the HR department, and they said that it was a really great company to work for, that they really promoted their employees and supported their development. And so here's another example. This is from Starbucks. Aside from extraordinary coffee, we have made a business out of human connections, community involvement, and the celebration of cultures. We're committed to upholding a culture where diversity is valued and respected. So it's only natural that as a guiding principle, diversity is integral to everything we do. And as far as I know, Starbucks, I believe, only uses fair trade coffee. So that would be an example of a practice that supports their diversity statement. And so that's the idea. Try to find companies online that have diversity statements, or maybe you can find articles about companies where they claim to be supporting diversity, and maybe try to think of some examples that support these statements, that this is really a part of their culture and not just kind of like something they do to have a good public image. So that would be your assignment for the next class. Try to find 2 examples that you can share with the rest of us, and we will discuss and answer any questions you have from the content of this course when we see each other again. Okay, so that's the end of today's class. Have a nice afternoon or evening, and I'll see you either on Friday or Saturday online. Bye-bye.